Hey everybody, Wayland here. I want to take a corned beef brisket, flat piece that I bought at the store, and turn it into pastrami. So I've got some brown sugar, a little bit of pink salt, and some pickling spice. I'm going to add these to boiling water and let that boiling water come together with all these spices, and then I'll let it cool, and I'll bring out the brisket, put it in a tray, and submerge it, and figure out a good way to get it to stay under the water for about 7 to 10 days. So we're gonna hang in with me there. I'm gonna get these things going. I'm gonna take a couple of these things. There's a little bit of peppers and some leaves in there sitting on the top, so I'm gonna take a few of those. Then I'm gonna go ahead and get about a cup of the seeds and spices down in here. See if I can get this done. All right, so a little bit more than peppers and leaves went in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put some of them back, save them for next time. This is a small piece of flat that came as a corned beef brisket. It was on sale at the store. And I thought, well, this thing's already been brined and salted to turn it into corned beef. I thought, what about just getting that pastrami flavor embedded into it? So we'll find out if this is a bad idea or if this can actually be done. I've not seen anybody do this. I have just determined to kind of make this up on my own. Now, I'm not going to add all the salt that you would normally add to a pastrami brine, because that thing has already been salted a lot. I am going to put some pink salt or Prague powder. This is curing salt, so that I can try to prevent the bacteria from building up in the water on the brisket and stuff while it sits for 7 to 10 days. Brown sugar is also helpful in that process also. I'm going to put about a cup of that. It's also part of the flavor profile of a pastrami. So anyways, so now I've got some brown sugar, some pickling spices, and some curing salt in a pot. I'm going to let that boil up and just really meld all together, and then let it cool, and then we'll put it onto the brisket, the corned beef brisket, and wrap it up and let it sit for 7 to 10 days. So when that's all boiled up, all right, so this had boiled up and cooled back down. Smells about right, like it should. I'm actually going to go ahead and use this crock pot insert. I do need this fully submerged, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out. It looks trimmed enough. I actually like the fat that's on there. I'm going to pull it out and we'll see what it looks like here together. Should I rinse it? I'm not going to rinse it because I didn't add any extra salt to that. I'm going to leave it as is. Let's see. Okay. Man, I mean, I could barely tell the marbling, but it doesn't. Okay, it's pretty lean. So yeah, I'm definitely going to leave this fat piece so I can cook it like a brisket. I hope to slice this up into some thin pastrami slices, but it's pretty dense and heavy for that. So you know, it's already full of some of that salt water. I can smell that, that kind of corned beef, that traditional smell that the meat has. Now I'm just going to go ahead and dump this water over the top of it. Submerge it completely. Okay, you know what? This thing's not floating at all. I think I'm going to grab a measuring cup. I didn't quite get these spices down in there. There's a bunch of spices sitting at the bottom. I think I'd like to go ahead and remove some of this water and get them spices down in there. Let me get a measure in my mind. Let's pour some of this into the yard. All right, there we go. So we now got some of those spices on there. All right, cool, perfect. You know what? That thing's staying right down in there. I may go ahead and just put the lid on it. I don't think I need to plastic wrap it and waste all that time. I'll be able to flip it a lot easier. I think I'll just put the lid on it and stick this in the fridge. So you'll see me again when I'm ready to pull this thing out and put it on the smoker. Again, 7 to 10 days. I'm just gonna see where in my schedule during that time works out for me to smoke this thing. So we'll see if this will actually work out. All right, so it's been 11 days. I was gonna go 7 to 10, but it's just when come opportunity for me to pull this thing from the fridge and out of the brine and season it and put it on the pit. Today I'm actually gonna be cooking a turkey also and a pulled pork or pork butt, and I got 2 brisket on the pellet cooker right now. Of course I'm working, so I started these brisket. I got 2 brisket on the pellet cooker right now. I started them this morning about 6 a.m. and I'm gonna leave them on the pellet cooker till a little bit later when I get home and can put them on the offset and get smoked. But I did want to go ahead and get this pastrami done. I'm gonna go ahead and season up this corned beef brisket now that I've hopefully brined into a pastrami. Again, the flat part, it was a corned beef packaged brisket that they were selling here, and was wondering how well a pastrami would turn out if had you just went ahead and brined it after it had already been brined as a corned beef brisket. So looks good, smells good, feels about right. It's got a nice fat cap. I'm gonna toss some black pepper all over it with some smoked paprika and some coriander. I got ground coriander, so I'll get this put all on there. I've done the brisket. This is again Matt Pittman at Meat Church's kind of technique. Of course, I just have a tendency to want to do all my stuff individually. I like getting the pepper down first. I'm going to go ahead and do the coriander next, and I'm just using ground coriander. Lovely wind here in Oklahoma, not surprising at all. This is going to help with those pastrami-like flavors. All right. Little bottle of it here. Let's try to get it everywhere. Not using the slather this time. I actually used up all my mustard earlier on the brisket I put on. My wife's going to get me some after she gets off work today, so I can finish a couple things later. I am doing a pork butt. I like to use the mustard. Actually, I ran out of mustard on the briskets, so I used Cholula. We'll see if that adds anything. Again, a slather is just something that with moisture to help get a rub to stick. This is pretty moist. I just rinsed it. It just came out of a brine, a big vat of liquid, so it should be good. This is for my eating pleasure. I really enjoyed making the Reubens, just as Matt Pittman had demonstrated in his series or in his episode on doing a pastrami brisket. So that's going to be my goal today. I just wanted to try it here with a corned beef brisket flat and see how that would come out. Nice. Put this bad boy on there. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna cook this like I would normally a brisket. This is just a flat dough, so it's gonna take a little bit more care, maybe not a lot of time. Right now I'm running this Pit Boss at 180 degrees because I've been sitting at work and I didn't want to, you know, overcook these other briskets. I don't want to overcook any of the briskets while I can't be directly monitoring them. These other two look really good right now. So I've got bark setting nicely on that one. Ooh, that one looks good. So got these set up, just running temps on it. Here's that pastrami brisket. We're gonna see how that comes out anyways. I'm gonna let it run for the next 4 or 5 hours while I'm at work, hopefully 4 or just under 4. We'll check back on it then. Awesome, so I'm at home after work. I'm gonna check on this pastrami brisket. So again, I've got a flat cut of pastrami here that was packaged and sold as corned beef brisket, and instead of turning it into like corned beef and cabbage and such or whatever, or corned beef anything, I took it and I brined it, and now I'm smoking it with the seasoning on it to get it up to temp and tender so I can slice into it and make some sandwiches out of it. Let's see what it looks like, see what temperature it is. Warming some logs here. I'm ready to, yes. Oh man, I got a lot of good looking stuff on there. I'm also doing a pulled pork and 2 brisket. Where's my, I've been running this foil on the top to kind of catch the stuff dripping down out of the smokestack. It doesn't seem too bad right now because the temperature's nice outside, but when I was running it during cold temps, it did seem to condensate and drop, you know, kind of some funky stuff down onto the food. So I just put a foil on the top grate to try to circumvent that this time. But it is windy here today. I need a glove. Okay, let's see. I will say about this competition cooker, I'd like if there was a door prop. This is gonna be good. So in here, I put the giblets, the gizzard, and the heart and liver from the turkey that I'm gonna smoke, because I will totally eat that. I put butter down there with it and some seasoning, and I put it on the smoker for a bit. That's gonna probably be ready to eat. But let's see. Okay, kind of tight. We're at 145. Not bad. Juice still pouring out of it, so I'm pretty happy with that. These briskets, I'm just gonna check on it. Oh yeah, really tight. 155. Okay. So, anyways, pulled pork. 140. That doesn't have to go too much longer. None of it has to go too much longer before I wrap it. But I'm gonna do my typical thing, and that's, I got old Eileen, the offset smoker fired up. I'm gonna move this food over onto that to get a good smoked taste. Take a good look at some of these. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna get my gloves on. Oh. Not bad, good looking. Smells really good. So, not a huge piece. It's shrunk up quite a bit, but looking pretty tasty. Got the bark coming off on the bottom. Let's see here. Okay. I'm actually using a new device too. I'll have to do another video on that, but I got a temp spike by Thermopro. Okay. Now this is one goofy thing. When you cook on this thing, you're gonna end up with the drippings down on your other brisket. So I usually find that does transform into something not too bad on the offset. Another good looking piece. And a delicious looking pork butt. All needing some time, so I know I kind of got sidetracked. The video is about the corned beef brisket, but I'm just having a good time here. All right, so again, showcasing really just this here. Bark's setting up. I'm gonna go ahead and run this till these brisket and this darkens up. This should probably be done before the rest, but either way, when they're darker, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap them and cook them to finish. All right, looking pretty good. It's starting to darken up very nicely. It's almost time to wrap. Let's see what this little piece here measures at though. Very tight, that's for sure. 159. Okay, cool. So we're all right. Getting a good smoke color on there. I'm gonna let them get dark and then wrap it. Go a little bit further and then wrap it. I like to spritz the paper now with a little bit of apple cider vinegar. I'm also going to dump smoked tallow on there because you don't have to, but why not? And then I'll wrap it up. I'm going to put it back on the pellet cooker to finish. All right, I turn this pastrami up. I'm back from my event. Ooh, man. Uh-oh. Oh no, it's critter time of year. Oh, I see a lot of moisture in them packages. Oh, that's gonna be good. Let's see. Let's see what the temp and probe tenderness is like. Let's check this pastrami. 187, 192, 196. Okay. Got up to 196. I'm gonna let it roll a little bit more. Let me check these. Check these. Oh, that was nice. Okay. Very probe tender. 195 on this one. Yep. Okay. A little bit more. Pulled pork's at 207. I think I'm gonna pull that pulled pork out though. It was tender. Cool. All right, we're gonna let that pastrami though go a little hotter. Kind of see the moisture in those. Pastrami though, waiting on that one to get tender. All right, so I have been running this pastrami brisket. I kicked it up to 210 degrees. It's sitting at 206. This pellet cooker is pretty cool. It has, a broad range of temperatures. Anyways, so I've had that brisket wrapped and just trying to finish it to 205. So as it now is a little more probe tender and 205. Let's see. All right, let's see how this pastrami turned out. I'm resting it in my oven at 150 degrees overnight, and then some. Smells good. I like thin slices. I'm gonna make sandwiches, but I'd like to. I need to get me a slicer. All right, it's got some moisture in it. Okay. Trying to think. Yeah, that's against the grain. Okay. Definitely tender. Let's taste it. It's pretty good. I would say I like it. Good flavor. You can taste the smoke on it. The bark's nice, brisket-y, but it's definitely unique with it being already kind of corned beefed. Well, anyways, can be done. Turned out okay. I just like the cut, and the only reason I tried to do this was because it was such a nice, perfect little flat piece already of brisket. So now I'm gonna make some pastrami sandwiches and do a Reuben, and just enjoy a sandwich with this corned beef pastrami.